What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. Alright, we got Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. If you look at it in the 1 minute, it seems like we have some nice moves today. Let's analyze our moves from yesterday and try to find out what has happened, why Bitcoin moved the way it did. For starters, if we start over here on the 28th of September at around 3 a.m., we had this candle that came perfectly to the value area low. And we got a beautiful bounce to the upside. Now when we got this bounce to the upside, we went to the value to the point of control. If we go in deeper, you will notice that we almost perfectly just tested the POC. The POC was there. In addition, we had a fib retracement level. Let me just plot it out. We had a fib retracement level from the high, the value area high, which we hit early on just the day before that, to the low over here. We came to the golden pocket, 0.618, 0.65. Okay, we extended, but we didn't get to the 0.786. POC, perfect rejection, and we came down. Now we got this bounce over here, and if you look, I had a feeling that if we get rejected over here, there's a high likelihood we're doing two things. We're going to come to the golden pocket. If it doesn't hold, we're coming to the value area low, 18,629. The golden pocket at the moment sits at the golden pocket. Let me show you. Let's take a retracement from the bottom here to the top. We came with the golden pocket here at 18,966 to 18,924 and bounced back up. We are struggling to get above this trend line. We've been bumping our head on it today. That point is also a fib retracement of 0.618, I believe. Let me see. 15-minute chart. We take it from this high of the day and go to the bottom. It's not the 0.618. I was wrong. But what if we measure it from up here to down here? No, we haven't. We got rejected at the 0.618. At the moment, for this move, from the top here to the bottom, we are above the 0.618, possibly going to that 0.786, which is 19,387. So this is how I'm looking at the charts. If Bitcoin is able to break the high of day, which was at the point of control, sorry, the high of day, there we go, the high of day, which is at 19,787 today, 19,787, then I'll be looking for the 20,200 range. 20,200 would be a good next stop for Bitcoin for a good rejection. We have the 800 EMA coming there. This is on the 1 hour chart, so on the 4 hour that will be the 200 EMA coming at around 20,040. And let's try and pull an anchored VWAP from the Bitstamp chart, and let's go way back in time on the weekly. 2020 lows, pandemic lows over here, March 9th, I believe. Let's pull an anchored VWAP and see where's the anchored VWAP, because the anchored VWAP is very important. Big institutions look at the anchored VWAP and the SMEs mostly. Where's the anchored VWAP? Fixed range projection, probably here. There we go. So from the lows of 2020, 38.50. The price went down to 38.50. The price was at 38.50. Somewhere around here. There we go. Our VWAP on the weekly is at 25,191. On the hourly, the VWAP is so high up. 4 hourly, 25,186. So daily, weekly, 4 hourly, it's at the 25 range. Micro time frames is at 20,846. That's where our VWAP is. And at that point, we also have a level 20,750, somewhere around here. Look at that. It's a 2.618 Fibonacci extension of 2.618 Fibonacci extension of this from the top to the bottom. That's the extension, 2.618. So yeah, we have that level over there. And don't forget, we have the value area high before it that comes at around 20,375. And yeah, so that's for Bitcoin. I'm looking at two things. Either I'm going to go down to the value area low, at around 18,630, or I'm going to go retest the point of control, probably break it and go to the value area high. It will be very volatile and fast if it does that, and if it's a fast candle, I know that we're going to be coming down soon. The dollar index has been the dollar index has been going down today, the DXY, and my next point of strong support will be at 111.836, sorry. So we could come all the way down and still be alright, and that would be good for the market, and the markets could pump higher today as a result of that. I think the volume isn't clear. I think we're having issues with the volume a bit. Let me try and adjust that. Alright, I think this will be better. So basically, the DXY has been going down. If you go to a smaller time frame, the 15 minute, we've gone down, recovered this gap, covered this gap, and we could be going up or come further down. If we come further down, then we'll be in trouble with the DXY. It's not going to be looking good for the dollar index, but it'll be good for the market. At the moment, the Dow Jones is down 376 points. It's trying to recover that. The Nasdaq is down 286 points. Ethereum is coming up. We have a level of resistance around 1354. If we come up, that's a point of resistance. Now, I went into a trade yesterday on the rejection of the POC. Sorry, that's I believe this was today or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I got in a bit late, but I managed to make some money, put my stops into profit. Of course, the market reversed and I got stopped out. Today I entered another short, and there is a good possibility I might get stopped out because, as you can see, this move happened and my stops are at break even. So this move had happened, and now we look like we might be reversing back up. Let's see if there's going to be a continuation to the downside to that 18.3. But the way you should trade it is you have a target and you know that you hit the 0.618. Unfortunately, I was out. I wasn't able to execute it and take some profit, but you hit the 0.618 and there's a sign of reversal or a wick. Then it's a good time for you to say, okay, I'm going to take 25 or 50% of my trade out, secure some profits. Then I could even open a hedge long at that point, anticipating further movement. In case the price moves up, I get stopped out of my short in profit, and I continue with a new long position, taking it up to that value area high that I showed you at around 20,300. Then at that point I say, okay, I'm at here or at the 200 or at the POC, depending on the strength of a move. I say, okay, I'm going to take 25% over here. Then as it gets over here, I say I'll take another 50, then let the rest ride, depending. You see, these are strategies, but depending on how much capital you're using. So if you're going to use $10 and you're going to do that, okay, it's a good strategy, but you're not going to make mad gains. If you're going to you made $30 profit, you take away 25. It's a way of doing it. It will grow slowly. But when you hear other YouTubers speaking of the strategy and that's how you should do it, I think they're not considerate that there are people with small accounts. There are people with sub $1,000 accounts, sub $500. Some people start with $100, $15, $20. So these strategies might not work. These people need to get into, I believe, higher probable trades that will make them a lot of money. So example, a swing trade, a short or a long from 17,500, the June lows, till now. That helps rather than scalping. But you could do scalping and make small gains, eventually compound them to bigger gains. That's my take on small accounts. I don't have a big account, I don't have a large account, but I am trying to grow my account over here, and I'm trying to do that by taking higher probable trades and pushing my stops into profits or break even, trying to protect capital, at the same time trying to see if the trade will go my way, if I'm going to be able to ride it longer. So when I took the short somewhere here, I'm waiting to see if I can ride it down to 17,600 or even sub 17k, because a lot of things are pointing down there, but it doesn't mean that we're going to go down there. But a lot of things, some people on YouTube are already turning bearish and they were bullish, so there is some bearish sentiment. This is a perfect time for the market to reverse and just rip up, but doesn't look like it. A lot of things are not helping. The US 30, the Dow Jones, I have a target. Where's my target of the Dow Jones? Yeah, look where I put it. This was in November 21. This was a breakout of this ascending wedge or channel that the Dow Jones was traveling in from March 20. Pandemic lows. We broke out. The measured move for that is 26,439. Just keep an eye on it. We will be getting there. At the moment, the Dow Jones is at big support around this block. That's why we're getting some support. You can see this is like 17th August up till 29th October. That's months and months of consolidation. Okay, we had pumps and dumps, but in general, it would be probably a point of control of this range. And that's my target, 26,489 at the moment. The SPY was trying to claim now. It needs to claim the 372 if it can, below 370, it's very bad for the SPY. Chili's, nice rejection from this level. I'm expecting a retest of 0.2246 for a possible bounce or just continuation to the downside. Yeah, I'll be watching this level, 0.2. I would be watching if I wanted to trade, 0.2246. Filecoin, I got into a trade and I took profits. I closed it out at around, I entered at around 5.9. Where was it? Somewhere around here. Let's look at the hourly. 5.9. Yeah, where was that? Somewhere around here, yeah. I entered it somewhere around here, 5.9. And I closed the trade because I saw a bounce, and yeah. It's all about risk management. Ethereum Classic, next range to the downside 24.30, to the upside 32.20. Of course, you have levels in between. You'd be interested in this previous high if we're able to take it, 30.23. Then you know you have further upside. You might come up, recover this insufficiency. Let's go back to Bitcoin. It looks like we're still struggling. It's in this descending formation. You can look at it as a triangle, or even let's go on the 5 minute because that's where I plotted it from. Yeah, on the 5 minutes. There we go. If Bitcoin pumps, we could be struggling over here. I mean, if we try to go up, we might bump our head at 19,365 and continue lower. This is on the 5 minute. So on the 5 minutes, you can see we're trying to get up the 50 EMA. On the 1 minute, we're about to lose the 50 EMA. So this is how I look at it. When I look at the chart and I look at the 1 minute chart, and I'm trying to, let me show you a good example where I entered a trade the other day. And I should have kept it running, but yeah, it is what it is. This point over here, 27 September. I entered a trade, but how did I enter? For starters, on the 4 hourly, I had the 200 EMA. I know that's a big problem for Bitcoin, historically speaking. And then I won't take a trade off this. If I take it off this, I'll have to wait for a breakdown from the 50, and that will be just, okay, not a bad move, but 4 hourly is a very large time frame for me to enter a trade from. I go to the 15 minute and even the 1 minute. Here we go. This was the 27th of September. So I'm looking at the 15 minutes. I can see we're stalling. I got in before this waterfall happens. Now I want to get in a bit early. I go to the 5 and the 1 minute. 27th of September was here. And I actually went on the 1 minute, but let's look at it in the 5 minute. I saw so many candles trying to make it up, but we're not going anywhere. We were above the 20K zone, a psychological number, but we're not going any further. Then on the 1 minute, I entered on a breakdown of the 50. So once I saw this, I entered over here. I took a chance. I said, I'm going to take a chance here. You could have gotten stopped out. You take another chance as you see another candle trying to go up, but nothing happens. You're just making a high, lower high, lower high. So, okay, now I understand. I'm going to get in my trade and put my stops above the previous high. Then you get in and you get this kind of movement. This trade without leverage was a 7%. If you used 10x, that would be 700%. So 7%, if you had possibly $100, you'd make 7, but with leverage that could be $70 or even more. Never trade with money you are not ready to lose. Trade with money you're ready to lose. You're gambling money. High probability trades is what you need to do. I usually like taking high probability trades. 111.836 looks like the DXY is going there. And considering this big dump we've been having, this big move down, this is on the 5 minute, by the way, since this morning, and let's compare it with Bitcoin's move. Bitcoin didn't move the same way. So DXY has been dumping. Bitcoin went up, went down, and went up. I guess they don't move in sync 100%, and it's not only Bitcoin that moves the DXY or vice versa, but yeah. And this is on the 15 minute, so this is on the 5 minute. So if we go to the 15 minute and we look at the DXY since this morning and look at Bitcoin since this morning, yeah, DXY was dumping. Bitcoin had a very small move up and then it dumped, and now we pumped and it looks like we're going to continue going down. So it's not really the opposite of each other today. I mean, they're not showing the inverse proportionality today. They're kind of moving sort of in the same way. I believe tomorrow we have some big news coming, the CPI data if I'm not mistaken. This is the FIB time, trend-based FIB time. The move happened just before the FIB time. I usually draw a trigger line just before that. You see this green dotted line that I usually draw is just before the FIB time. And probably my green dotted line would have been here. Then we'd get a move and to be a good one. I would have put in it right over here. This would be an odd one to do. Probably over here I would have my dotted line. Anyhow, and this was another FIB time that came and we got the small move up. Now that's my update on Bitcoin. So all in all, in general, it's not looking that good, even though we had that pump. Looking at the macro picture, you can see that you're still forming. You had a low, a high, higher low, lower high, higher low, higher high. Now you formed a lower low, lower high, and possibly you're going to form a lower low. If you do that, then that's very bad. Otherwise, Bitcoin needs to reverse now. When Bitcoin remains above 19.2, that's a very good sign. We need to keep that. But if it starts losing it again and doesn't do a wick and starts opening and closing and following through, then we'll have more downside. Alright guys, if you haven't already, like the videos, subscribe and click the notification bells. More trades.